You guys, we're back. It's Monday instead of Tuesday or Wednesday when we usually go on. Sean, Javon, off of 2 podcasts. Man, this was a crazy weekend. One of the best game sevens we've seen in a while. Javon, what's good, man?
Uh, was glad to see both teams show up. It seemed like this has been a trend lately where either something bad happens in game seven, like Halliburton's injury, or one team just packs it in, like they just ran out of energy for the series. And we didn't get that Saturday. So I'm happy. Now, me personally, uh probably would have got on the phone with NBC, like, hey, you know, I know y'all got this Sunday night baseball thing going on. This is game seven. Let's go ahead and let's push this to Sunday, you know. And whatever jackass set it up to where game seven of the finals is going to be on a Friday night instead of that Sunday. I don't know. I'm done trying to think of what goes through Adam Silver's bold ass mind. I think I really think he has a smooth brain. Like just very few cells left in it. I really do.
He's definitely, I don't care what anyone says. He's probably the happiest man. I said this a couple weeks ago to see what, we got the new face. We got Wimby. And to have him at 22 years old in MSG against a team who's trying to win it, who I think could actually win that title, but we'll talk about that when we break it down. It's going to be a good series. It's going 7. I'm going to say it right now. It's going to go 7 games. But I think it's going to be an exciting final. Adam Silver, it's just, it's like when David Stern had Magic and Larry come together. It was like, man, they're all just aligned. Then you got Michael. I think it just aligns. This is the perfect NBA Finals for this series. And again, I owe my brother Javon an apology. I said it in the text, but I got to say it on here. That small market, big market thing. I'm not saying the NBA Finals, it doesn't matter. It's just the two teams, how they're playing,
What
the storylines.
does it have to do with the basketball being played on the court? And what has it ever had to do with the basketball being played?
And I would have to say 2 of the best series I've seen in the last 5 years has been 2 small market teams. That Pacers series last year with OKC, and this series, and even the Denver OKC series was pretty good last year too. It's been some really good series of small market teams. I take it back. I've been entertained. I wasn't watching at a bar in Atlanta. You would have felt I was in OKC, San Antonio. It's about the players, not really the markets. Come to that resolution.
I'm glad you came to your senses. I don't know why it took you so long, but okay.
It doesn't change in baseball though. Baseball and hockey, I still think those are regional sports. I haven't changed my mind on that. But keep going.
I'm gonna say it again. Your market has nothing to do with how your team plays and the product that's on the field. That is strictly for TV network executives. If you're a fan and you can't enjoy your game because it's 2 small market teams, then you don't like the sport. Sean, we're going back to 1999. Knicks, Spurs. You just said it's going 7. Go ahead and give me the rest of your opinions on this series.
Real quick, Javon, how old were you in 1999? Were you born?
No, I was not born.
I started off that way because I was going to be like, I remember the finals in 1999 between those 2 teams. But I was just thinking, I don't think Javon was born back then.
Those finals were a few months before my older brother was born. So,
yeah. Damn. All right. So back in 1999, I remember because back then I was just more of a Knicks fan because my uncle was a Knicks fan. Now I'm whatever with basketball. I just like the players more than teams. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm a diehard Yankee fan. Shout out to my Yankees with my hat today. But and I just remember how dominant Tim Duncan was and how young he was. And I remember the year before, in 1998, the Celtics with Rick Pitino went on an all-out tank. So tanking's been going on for a long time. They tanked the season with the hopes of. I remember watching this show back in Boston with Butch Stearns. And he was talking about the tank for Duncan, the tank for Duncan. It was all. And when the Celtics got the 5th pick in that draft, they were devastation in Boston. And I'm like, all right, this kid, this is good. 98, he comes, he's good. 99, that lockout season, he was the best player in the league. And so it's a lot. And he was 22. A lot of symmetry with him and Wimby.
And remember something very similar between that team and this team. Timmy's teammates were pissed that he didn't win MVP.
Yes. Yes. Very. Oh, he should have won. Oh, Karl Malone that year. Absolutely. 100%. There was no, it was just a bias. Everybody just assumed Utah was going to go to the finals and win it because they got knocked out a couple years in a row by Michael Jordan in the playoffs.
And Chicago was finally done. Yeah.
Yeah. And they were done. So, but that team defensively was amazing. But back to this series. And then the Knicks really didn't have no chance. That the 210 Twin Towers, Patrick Ewing was, it was more Latrell Sprewell, Allen Houston's team at that time. This is good finals. This is going to be a great finals. I think that they played a really competitive NBA Cup game. I know that sounds crazy to say that, but that was a competitive game. Like that was like the
and the cup has meant something. Let's
yes.
I will give Adam Silver his credit. The cup has meant something. Now, you still a jackass for being baited into incentivizing players to do their job, which is show up for 82 regular season games. Like they just keep getting money out of you. So you're still an idiot for that. But the cup has turned out to actually mean something with the Pacers and the Thunder and the Spurs and the Knicks. So you're not crazy for bringing that game up. That means something. That is a barometer for this series. That was the Cup final, and now it's the NBA final. So you're not crazy for bringing it up at all.
No, and I think I gotta give the Knicks credit and Mike Brown for this part. They are playing really good offensive basketball. I texted this a couple weeks ago, and I feel like, man, I wish we were big enough so people. I had the idea first. Then I heard Bill Simmons say, I heard other people. This team reminds me of the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. And when I was watching them, I was sitting on the couch. I'm like, I've never seen a team offensively be this in sync except for that 2011 finals. Remember, they beat KD on the way to the final, James Harden, those boys, Russell Westbrook. They smacked Kobe and those boys.
I remember that year, yeah, because I'll never forget. Sean, I was in 4th grade, and I was just really getting into basketball. And I had a homeboy, I'll never forget, my boy Darren Wallace. Playoffs came, and we drew the Mavericks. And I'm like, oh yeah, we straight. We must try to go back to the finals. We must try to go 4 straight years. He said, you're crazy. Dirk and them boys got something special waiting on y'all. I'm like, huh? Jason Terry and old ass Jason Kidd, man, nah. We ain't worried about no Sean Marion. We used to deal with him in Phoenix. Man, we cool on Dallas. Never Dirk waiting, ready to do. My boy Paul Gasol is waiting and ready to do. And they don't have an Andrew Bynum. No, they just had the best interior defender at the time in Tyson Chandler. Yeah. I remember being so confident about that series. And boy, we got our asses whooped. I'm talking. Cole was the only one who showed up. I was like, whoo.
Whooped. That was a whooping. Right.
Yeah.
Was it a sweep? Was it a sweep?
It was 4 or 5. It might have been 4. Might have been 5, but it was bad.
It was bad. It wasn't competitive. Ooh. If they did win a game, it was that a close game. But that's what this Knicks team reminds me of. It's just how cohesive offensively they're playing. It's the best offensive basketball I've seen since that year. That was the best. I've never seen a team play that good offensively. So I know the competition, but I don't. This is the thing about why I think it's going to go 7. I still think there's some, and they might shatter the mold. There's some narrative that's true about being young in these situations. And I do think it showed that. I do think this, and I'm not making a excuse for OKC. But do I think the series would have been a little bit different if J. Dub played? Absolutely. I think Spurs could have won. I'm not knocking that. But I do think that the Spurs were more talented, and they could have lost game 7 because some of the youthful mistakes they were making. And I was like, man, and we were texting during game 7. Oh, they're about to lose this game. Well, they're going to lose this game. I felt like some of that stuff, they just didn't, they just out talent the Thunder at the end.
I wouldn't even say they cleaned it up in the second half is what happened. All that stuff we were talking about, yeah, they're going to lose because we had seen it before in the series. OKC took advantage of all that young stuff in the second quarter. And the Spurs came out at halftime and corrected all of their mistakes.
I give him credit for that, but I do think that Rich Johnson made a great. You had SGA was special on game 7. Can we admit he was He was special. That
That's
reminded me of.
how he should play.
Yeah, he was
Forget all that
special.
looking for foul stuff. Just go play basketball.
But when
He
they
just
could,
proved he's good enough to not have to do it.
oh yeah, he was making shots, and everybody in the bar was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "This is
But
it's
I
crazy."
got to give Mitch Johnson his credit. He had a strategy. He's like, we're going to keep letting him take these shots. That's what he's making them now. But these are the shots we want him to take. Why is that? Because there might be some idiot out there tomorrow. That was dumb. In real time, I know somebody said it. No, when you keep taking a whole bunch of step backs over somebody, you have to jump. You have to get lift.
Yeah.
So at some point, your legs are going to get tired. And that's all the Spurs were banking on. His legs getting tired. And what happened in the fourth quarter? Legs got tired, and he could not get to his step back anymore.
But that's what I'm saying. They didn't have a secondary guy who could create without J-Dub or A. That's what it factored.
Had they had J-Dub instead of Chet, they would have had a better chance to win.
Absolutely.
Forget J-Dub and Chet. J-Dub instead of
Chet. Yeah, absolutely. And I know we're going to talk about OKC more. But my point is, there was just times in the series that San Antonio looked young to me, and they showed their young spirit. And the coach is young, right? So I do think at some point, if this is the Knicks' best opportunity to win a championship since '94. They didn't really have a chance in '99, but in '94, this is their best opportunity. It sucks they have to go on the road if it's a game 7, but I do think I still always will lean with history with that part. But I just think Wemby's so special, and this team, Castle and Harper is like, man, that kid is good, man. For them to have those 4 guys as their core guys, because I could Carter Bryant, Vassell, 5 guys, that team's gonna be really good. That's the only reason I think it's going 7. I think San Antonio pulls it off at the end because I do think they have the best player. But I think it's going to be a great series. I can't wait.
What's going to give the Spurs this advantage is the Knicks have absolutely nothing for Wembanyama, number one. Number two, this is going to be by far the best defense the Knicks have played this postseason. Like, the Hawks, they can defend, but they don't really scare you. At least not the way San Antonio does. And we know Philly ain't nothing to be worried about defensively. And Cleveland proved their perimeter defense is garbage. The Spurs, there are no cracks. They got defenders at the guard spot, defenders on the wing, and that guy Victor Wembanyama. So you have to bank on the Knicks, that high-powered offense, staying that high-powered against this team. When I only trust one player on their team that be able to just go get his on the perimeter, and that's Brunson. And that was OKC's problem, and it resulted in a loss. And the Knicks are not as deep as the Thunder, in my opinion.
No.
So, I'm hearing all this 2011 Mavs talk. I got another comparison for you that I didn't even think of, and it fits perfectly. You know what team had the exact same path to the finals as the Knicks in terms of win the first series 4-2, sweep the next ones, enter the finals on a 10-game winning streak?
Cool.
The 03 Nets. I feel like the Knicks are closer to that than those Nets. And who did the Nets lose to in the finals that year?
Shaq and Kobe.
No, that was the Spurs.
Oh, 03. Okay. I'm thinking 02. Yeah. Yep, you're right. But that won 7 games. That won 7 games, right?
6 or 7.
I think it won 7. All right, hold on. Keep going.
6 or 7. So that's who I'm comping the Knicks to right now. 03 Nets. They can come out of this East that is.
You're right. It won 6, 4-2.
Yeah, because Kenya Martin had nothing for Tim Duncan. So and I compare them to that team where it's all right. They had their way with an East that just ain't it right now, and they're going to play a good team and they're going to put up a fight, but it won't be enough. So I'll give the Spurs in 6. And I am concerned for the Knicks also because this is the era of parity, and no one goes to back-to-back finals anymore.
Mm.
Number one, I do not think whoever wins this series is going to repeat because
Yeah, we're on the same page. I was thinking the same thing.
I'll tell you why. If the Spurs win, today's thinking, the way today's front offices work, they're going to think they don't need that power forward to help Wemby. And other
Preach.
teams who are building to beat you are going to have that.
And
So,
I think that's and I not to cut you. I think that's the only way the Knicks beat the Spurs if they go big with Towns and Mitchell
Carl and
Robinson.
Mitch, exactly.
Yeah, if they do that a lot in this series, they have a chance to win Game 6 to beat them. Because I agree, it's just Wemby rebound and no one else. I think
There's no one else. They're too
you could
small.
dominate them. Yeah, they're too small. I think you could dominate them.
They try, but yeah, Mitch runs two guards and two small forwards out there. Devin Vassell's a small. Devin Vassell's really a two guard. He's 6'5" in a string beam. So teams going to be built to stop that. And if the Spurs win this chip, they're not going to go address that issue. They're going to think they're fine as is. I'm not saying this is the last championship the Spurs will win. They just won't repeat. Not this time around.
Same with
And the
OKC.
Knicks,
I think OKC wins another title at some point.
I wouldn't be shocked. I do think they might have to avoid the Spurs to do it.
Could be.
I we'll talk about it. We will talk about it.
I do have to say this though: the NBA needs to be concerned that every year that there's a major injury, and that's making the path for those teams to get to the championship and win the title easier. That's all I'm going to say. And I do think that's why I won't bet on any of these teams either being healthy to get back to win back-to-back titles. But keep going.
So yeah, and we got all the sports signs, but now we got all these injuries. And y'all let me know how that makes sense. And then with the Knicks, I'm be honest with you, I don't think the Knicks ever make it back after this year.
Damn.
This team, no, come on, not
This
with this
innovation.
bunch. Because Alvarado's gone after this year, especially if they win. He's going to go get paid. And what's Mitchell Robinson's contract? I meant to look this up before we got on. But I think he's coming off the books.
Yeah, he's a free agent this year.
Yeah, he's a free agent this year. They win, he's damn sure leaving to go get paid. So they're going to lose those two, and they still need another scorer next to Brunson to be able to repeat. Because you got to remember, when you win a chip, everyone comes back next year better and built to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't find a way to improve, then you're done. And I don't see a path to improvement for the Knicks if they win or if they lose, just off of their cap situation and who's available. So I think they're the more desperate team in this series. I think this is their only chance to get it done. And I just don't think they will.
Do you feel like wait, you said have the Spurs and 6. So I have a question. Do you think it's a good thing for the sport that we're about to have 8 or 9 different champions? 8 straight I don't know, it's 8 or 9.
Yeah, because I think in every year except last year, the best team won. And the only reason I say except last year is because Halliburton got hurt in Game 7. I don't think we have a problem where the best team in the NBA isn't winning the championship. The best team is winning.
Okay, so Golden State. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of the last Denver, Boston was best team. I would say OKC was the best team, even though I do see because injuries are injuries. It is what it is, and especially in this NBA. My only concern is the injuries are affecting people chance because I do think OKC is different if we have a J-Dub team. And I'm not saying San Antonio, they've proven they could beat them. So I'm not discrediting it. Do I think the Celtics would have come back and beat the Knicks? I would have still picked the Celtics to come back and beat the Knicks.
No, they weren't. If you were watching that series, Sean, no, the Knicks had them figured out. And again, this goes back to what I just said. When you win the chip, everybody is built to beat you. This Knicks roster was specifically designed to beat Boston. And when Tatum was out there, it was not making a difference. The Celtics were going home last year.
Yeah, they were about to lose 3-0. I'm not going to be like I didn't watch the series. They were before Tatum got hurt. They were down by like 8-9 points in fourth quarter. They're about to be down 3-0.
Yes, they
Absolutely.
were
Okay.
going home.
All right. So yeah, that's fine. Whatever. But Milwaukee's titles, that could be suspect too. That's the only thing I would say.
That's the only suspect one. The thing is, though, they
Because they're
did
not
have the
beating
best
Denver.
player. They had the best player in the
Not
world.
Denver. Yep.
So I can give them that. They had the best player in the world. But yeah, when 3 of the final 4 from the previous year all get injured, poof.
KD was the best player in the world at that year.
In 21?
Better Giannis was the best player in the world?
Yes. Yes. To me, yes.
Come on. KD almost won that series by himself.
Man, KD ain't never getting that title, best player in the world. What?
I'm just saying, if Kyrie and James don't get hurt, they'll be in Milwaukee. I think you think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
They lost by a toe.
Yeah. No, you're right. That doesn't negate the fact that I still think Giannis was the best player in the world. But
Okay.
all right, yeah, like I said, that one gets an asterisk. I will give you that.
Okay. All right.
And then the Lakers, you know how I feel. That season doesn't get interrupted. Something's bound to happen to Anthony Davis. There is one other caveat to this whole thing before we get to the Thunder and the Cavs. The new era is here. What do I mean by that? We know who the next 5 are. Luka, Shea, Wemby, and Jokic, right?
Is Jokic in the new 5, or he's more with the Giannis middle of the pack crowd?
Because Jokic still got some prime years left. So okay. I'm saying who the next top 5 is going to be in the NBA is those 5, right? Who's the only one out of those 5 not to make a finals?
Ant.
Now, I've beaten Denver after they won the chip, and they had a better team than me. OKC has beaten me to get to the chip and win. Dallas has beaten me to get to the chip. Now San Antonio has beaten me to get to the chip. I might like my chances out east.
Oh, absolutely.
Minnesota, if y'all can't get me help, my hometown team damn sure can move some money around to get me. And I like my chances of having to see those other 4 guys in the finals rather than every year I got to see at least 2 of them in the playoffs with Julius Randle as my second option. So
I think, yeah.
I would not be shocked if we start seeing some reporting come up this summer of, hey, there's some pressure in Minnesota from their star player, because I cannot be lost in history. I cannot be the stepping stool for these guys. I don't want to be Dominique. I got to get the one.
Can I say something that's going to be kind of, I know you ain't going to like it. Well, 2 things. Minnesota should really hope and pray the expansion goes through, and they should be moved to the Eastern Conference. That would solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, solve a lot of issues.
And for Ant, we'll get to a couple of finals there. But you just name all those 5 guys. Let's add Tatum to that, Jaylen Brown. Who else am I missing? Young guys. Yeah, they won.
Yeah, you want to expand it to a 10. Brunson, now he's in the final.
Brunson. It used to be hard to get to the NBA finals, man, and win a title. And you had to use, and no, just it wouldn't be special.
Halliburton.
But you used to have to put in years and some tough times. I do think the NBA has made it easier, because you just named 5 guys. Before, it would take 10 years for one of these guys to get to the finals or something like that. It is easier to get to the finals in this NBA and easier to win a title in this NBA. And that's my only downside of the whole 8 different champions in 8 different years type of thing. Because you just named some of the top stars, and the only person we're talking about who hasn't even been to a final is Ant. And we've got Tatum and those boys. And like, That's not, and they're all. I think Brown's the oldest one at third. Well, Jokic now the only one, but Jokic won his title like in his 20s, right? Like 29. Giannis won a title. I just think it's a. Do those titles matter? Yes, but are they the same as when Duncan and them will win the titles? LeBron was winning those other titles, or Michael and those. I don't think they add the same value to me because it's easier because of the parity they're trying to do.
Or maybe today's stars just aren't as good as those guys. Ever just thought about that? I don't see where the league has just killed championship teams. Like, again, no one told the Bucks to trade Drew Holiday.
Okay.
No one told the Nuggets to lock Jamal Murray and Michael Porter into those contracts.
Okay.
And now Christian Brown into this one. No one told Joe Mazzulla to keep shooting 43s a game. Did they?
No, you're right. But can I just push back on that for a second?
And no one told Rob Pelinka to break up his championship team just like that.
All right, I'll give you Pelinka and I'll give you Milwaukee. But Milwaukee did run it back for 2 more years before they traded Holiday. That's one caveat. They just
I don't kept getting injured. That's
Giannis. Well, all right. Well, that's on Giannis because he continues to get injured. But we'll just break it down. Denver, I completely agree. They messed up, and the owner doesn't want to go into luxury tax. So it's the system. Boston's the only team I would say I push back on you with this aspect. Is Boston had to break up with a team because of the luxury tax to the new rules. You know, like it just didn't make sense to pay $500 million.
They did not break up the team that won the chip until this year.
Yeah, that's fine, but they could have brung those.
Tatum got hurt. If Tatum didn't get hurt, they would not have broken up that team.
They was not going to be paying $500 million for a team. Come on, man. You know that. That's ridiculous. And luxury taxes,
they would have
I'm not
gotten rid of everyone. They would not have gotten rid of everyone. I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, you're right. We would never know because Tatum got hurt. They changed
the kept Porzingis at least. They probably would have let Holiday walk. They'd have kept Porzingis.
I would have kept Porzingis on an expiring deal. I would have seen how to, and I would let Cornet. And the only person I thought they should have kept was Porzingis, and that was their downside fall. Excuse me. I think against Philly is not having a big man. That's it. They didn't have a solid big man. But I just think everybody's championing the 8, and I know it's what Adam Silver wants. But I look at it as like now everybody's getting chips. Like now the next level to me and all those guys you mentioned, and we add Tatum in them. Who's the next guy to win multiple chips out of that crowd? That's the challenge to me. It's like, who's the first guy to separate themselves and be like, no, this is my league. You got to go through me to win this stuff. Is it Wemby? Who is that guy? Is it Shea? It's got to be someone.
Shea and Wemby become the new Duncan and Kobe at all. I would not be surprised.
Okay, I'm not. I wouldn't be.
And I think we're on the way to that. I really do. I really do think it's just a matter of. Once again, what do I always say? We're in the worst era of front offices in sports. I think that has a lot more to do with it rather than this. The NBA has made it easy for everyone to win. I think it's more so that. I really do.
Okay.
Because these teams just lose their minds after winning the chip. It's like their goal is to win one.
Yeah, which makes no sense. The guys we name, I think Tatum, because of the front office in Boston, and they have Brown, Shea, and they play in the East. Shea and Wemby, those are the 3 guys I would say have a chance to win multiple titles out of this group.
Yeah,
the best chance. Yeah.
Now you say all that. Now this is probably going to help your ammunition because now the Thunder are in the second apron and they got some decisions to make after the series. And one of those decisions is Isaiah Hartenstein's $28.5 million team option. However, Sean, back to my point, no one told you to give Chet Holmgren $41 million a year starting next season.
Yep.
He's making 41, J-Dub's making 41, and Shea's making 40. Team options on Holmgren, Kenrick Williams, that I'm sure they'll let Kenrick Williams go. Cason Wallace has a team option. So they got some decisions to make. I want to point out one thing, Sean, because I know a lot of this conversation we're about to have is going to be centered on Chet Holmgren. Lou Dort's a team option. What was my evaluation of Chet coming out of Gonzaga? Let's see if you remember this one.
I can't remember. It was a minute ago.
I said he's going to be on a winning team for a long time and contribute to that winning.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going to be an impactful scorer. Starting to remember that?
Yep.
I told you, I said, because that brother wasn't even top 2 on his own college team. That was Timmy and Julian Strother that year.
Yep.
So he's not going to be a scorer. Have I been wrong about my evaluation of Chet?
No.
Do you pay that $41 million a year?
No, but I got to ask you a question because we've been doing this part for a minute. I don't think you had an issue with them extending him for that amount of money last season when they won the chip.
First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you, Sean. I forgot until this series that they even gave him a Superman. I really did forget. Like, and for some reason, I ignored OKC's cap situation last year. I thought they still had just a whole bunch of money with guys on young deals. I think they paid their whole big 3.
Yeah, and Shea's contract's jumping up after this season. After this season,
he's got to be in the
65,
70
70, yeah, 65, 70 million.
And so I wish I would have made a bigger deal out of this last year. So I'm glad you said that. I wish I would have made a bigger deal. Because this is not hindsight. You know how I feel. I talk about this every year. It's always a new player.
Yep.
And it's in real time. You don't pay Chet 41 mil. And what did I text you last week? We do not need an all-NBA third team anymore. Because that's getting a lot of these guys paid. And I've never thought, like, third team is not the same as the first 2. The third team is one of 2 things. Either this guy had a good season or this guy is on his way. I looked at the third team this year. I saw 5. They had a good season. I didn't see this guy.
Top 15 players. Yeah. I agree. When you said that, I was
like the NFL don't do a third team. Yeah. Baseball doesn't do a third team. We need all NBA first team and second team, and that's it. And that would have scaled. That would saved a lot of teams these contract issues. Number one. And yeah, Chet's a product of it. Now you got decisions to make.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So I think OKC's biggest strength is their depth. They still need a second guy. It was proven that they needed another ball handler. I like AJ Mitchell, but he's not Jalen Williams. And because let's call a spade a spade. He's
really good. Get right back to it. Life is real different when Jalen Green and Austin Reeves ain't in your face.
Exactly. So let's pump the brakes.
And we like AJ Mitchell on this podcast.
Of course.
We are not crapping on him.
No, but
we can be honest about 2 players we've always been critical of on this show, especially me with Austin Reeves and you with Jalen Green. Yeah. It's real different when Jalen Green and Austin Reeves is in front of your face than when De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and the Spurs organization as a whole that is built on defense.
Completely. Because the games he played in the series, he struggled in those first couple of years and he got hurt. So he's more of a bench player, product of that environment. J-Dub he just got to figure out this injury stuff come the postseason. I don't know. The last 2 years, if he's going to be a Scottie Pippen, quote unquote, I don't want to deal with the Scottie Pippen problems for the first couple of years either. You did get a championship out of it, but still, come on.
Can we talk about Scottie?
Go ahead.
Oh, because this is the perfect weekend to do it. Because Rich Paul is at it again. Scottie Pippen, just as impactful as Michael Jordan. And so I'm glad somebody resurfaced the article of when they 94 or 95, I want to say. And it was a list of the choke artists of the NBA and why they fit that category. And Scottie Pippen's name was squarely right there. Made sure to send it to my brother because I've been on a campaign of educating him about the game of basketball. Because for the first time in life, it seems like my older brother is actually interested in learning the game instead of just being on LeBron's set. So I really do appreciate the Lord for that blessing because I couldn't take it anymore. So all praises. That's who Chet Holmgren turned into. LeBron fans that just swear Scottie Pippen was the greatest player of all time. Like you got LeBron fans talk, it's LeBron and then it's Scottie Pippen. But y'all saw from Chet, and I see a whole bunch of LeBron fans going at Chet right now. That's who Scottie Pippen was against Detroit.
Yeah. Call spade a spade.
Shea and Chet this series, which y'all saw, specifically Game 7. Shea and Chet in Game 7 described Michael and Scottie's history against Detroit. Mike go out there, go get 36, and then here comes Scottie pissing down his leg. So now it's up to Shea to do the same thing Mike did in the summer of 90. Like when I said this is what Donovan needs to do with Cleveland, and boy, he made some comments this week. I'm done with Donovan. Where I said last year, I said he got to get them in the gym with him. They need to he needs his teammates to just stick to him like glue this summer and just pick up a little bit of what he's got going on in his mind. That needs to be Shea with Chet. Hey, man, next year, that ain't happening. First of all, you're going to come get in the weight room.
Yeah.
Because no one believes in the weight room anymore for some reason. I mean, they made DeAndre Ayton lose weight. The brother was built like David Robinson when he first came into the league. And now he's just, you can't even see a muscle on him. Getting into the weight room, because Wemby refuses to, that's an advantage for you. And like, yo, you're scoring next year. We're working all summer so I can hammer listen to your brain.
Yeah.
So
he's got
your history lesson.
Yeah, I do think that Chet was exposed. He looked scared, taking 2 shots, making you the second
took
guy.
2 shots in what, 41 minutes?
You third team all NBA. You average 18
4 rebounds. You're 7-1 and you grab 4 rebounds and an elimination.
No impact. Got dunked on. OKC has to look in the mirror and be like, all right,
wide open shots.
If you're gonna pay him he's getting paid like a second guy. You got to perform like a second guy. And I do agree. A few things
goes back to my thing about the teams ain't repeating. I just named all the contract issues with other teams. This is OKC's issue. You gave Chet Holmgren $41 a year.
Yeah, you gave him too much. I do think that OKC's in a good position in this aspect. I heard Brian Windhorst said that they're not going to just not pick up the team options for Hartenstein and Dort. Dort and Hartenstein has value in this league. The Lakers would kill to get those 2 guys on their team, or at least one of them. You're going to be able to recuperate. They already have 15 million draft picks. You're going to be able to recruit, and they got the 12th and 17th pick. I do let Dort go because I think Wallace is ready to be the starting 2 guard.
He's kind of starting to get vocal about it.
Yeah, and you see him play Game 7. He was the only one other OKC guy he looked. I'm ready for the moment. I don't need Dort. Dort was missing threes. He's not the same. He's a good defensive player. He'll be really more valuable on another team.
Dirty guy. That's it. And
yeah.
Shout out. Speaking of dirty, shout out Alex Caruso. Because there's another player that turned into Scottie Pippen in this series, and that was Stephon Castle. And what do I mean by that? Anytime he got hit, oh, I'm pissed. I'm about to cry. I'm about to try to fight somebody. I'm about to go cry to the ref. Alex Caruso pushed his buttons all series long and hard fouled him whenever he had the chance. He got to the point where Dylan Harper had to come dive onto the ground and grab Castle. Because Caruso was going to get Castle ejected.
Yeah.
That's what I call a veteran. This is why you need veterans on your team. And for some reason, they've been pushed out of the NBA. That was veteran basketball. I love what I saw from Alex Caruso. I really do. That's how you get under somebody's skin and test them in the playoffs. And once again, LeBron fans, you saw how he was taking Castle out of the game with that. That's exactly what used to happen to Scottie. Soon as he got bumped, cry this, cry that, can't do anything anymore. Got to the point he's so stressed out, he's got a migraine ahead of Game 7.
Yeah.
Until what happened? Scottie, Horace, y'all with me all summer.
Yeah. I think OKC, the thing about OKC that frustrates me a little bit is I said this in the chat and it proved right to me in Game 7. They lack a killer mentality. And their best player is Shea, but he's so nonchalant about everything. And it's cool. But it rubs off on the rest of the team.
I think we saw it in Game 7. I think he's just a quiet killer.
That's fine. Tim Duncan was too. But my only thing is his personality rubs off on the team. And I don't know if not everybody's Shea.
They're not good enough.
They're not good enough. Yeah. And Chet, And I think Chet and Shea, if I'm seeing Presti, need to come back with 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. I don't understand why SGA is really
That
small
would
and
have
he needs
saved
to pound
Shea's
it.
legs. That
Yes.
would have saved Shea's legs. Yeah, thank you
Yes.
for
You
that.
have he has to get both of those guys have to put more muscle on because Shea gets in the one thing I like about the playoffs, it's physical. It's back to the basketball I grew up on. Shea's getting beaten down in these postseasons. San Antonio was
The
beating him
Pacers
down.
got physical with him, and
Yes.
San Antonio got physical with him.
He's not those flopping, all the no, he needs to get at least 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. And Chet,
Especially for how much bumping he does on his offense, how much
yes.
contact he initiates. Yeah.
And he's always driving or taking the midi. He's not. So those are two things I think would hope. I don't think OKC need to break it up. I'm going to say right now, they're not
No.
going to change Chet. They lost, and their second best player was out, and their
I
sixth
do
man was out.
think
Come on.
I don't think I'm crazy for this because you know the cat Chilltown that be on TikTok swearing he knows
Yes.
something about basketball. He just got on this morning like, and this is why none of y'all will ever be GMs. But what are you, by the way? Because they don't act in the emotion. Oh yes, they do. They're not going to trade Chat because he got outplayed in one series. Sometimes player A is just better than player B. Yeah, but player B just wants no problems with player A, no
That's
parts of player A. And he
yeah.
has to go through player A every year. And he's being paid like player A, and he's nowhere close to player A. Cap space is a thing in this NBA. The only thing that is keeping Chet from being guaranteed in Milwaukee is Giannis's injury history.
Absolutely.
That's
don't
the
make sense.
only thing.
Yeah.
Because if Giannis were still, kicking it, if he had the health of Jokic, he would be in OKC July 1st.
Easily. And it'll make sense because you need someone who's
and they
more
would be
physical
declining Hartenstein's team option so they can get somebody better suited to play next to Giannis.
Yeah.
And it would not be a bad decision
Mm.
because it's crystal clear what the West is. It's OKC versus San Antonio every year. Somebody's going to creep in at some point. We know. And someone's going to try to be the Sacramento to their LA San Antonio thing. But it is going to be those two from here on out. And you're just building to beat each other at this point. And you need something for Wendy. And Chet just you gotta show me you want this smoke.
Yeah, I think
this guy's been killing you for years now, since y'all were kids. And I just don't see it changing anytime soon. So there's a thought of I want to move him to get a better option to defend Wemby. I don't think that's dumb because again, he ain't worth $41 million.
No, he's more in the $30 million Jalen Duren category. If you just want a guy who could hit a couple threes here and there and play really good defense, and it's not man-to-man defense sometimes, he's a good help defender, great help defender. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I do think you've got to make improvement. You won a title last year, but I said this in the text: 3 Game 7s. As dominant as your regular seasons has been, you've been in 3 Game 7s in 2 years, and you lost one of them. You know what I mean? At some point, we got to look in the mirror and be like, all right, we're good, but are we great consistently when it matters? And what's the injuries? And J-Dub, we got to figure this out. SGA, you got to put on some weight because it's too physical in the postseason. Michael did it, Kobe did it, we all do it. And Chet, you got to put weight on, and you got to be with KG all summer and develop some moves in the post. Like, you know what I'm saying? OKC they're gonna win another title if they improve. I'm not gonna say it's guaranteed. If they improve, they don't have to go get free agents. They gotta make internal improvements. And it's clear as day. I just named them. That's the improvements you need to make to go up with San Antonio. And some years San Antonio is gonna get you, some years you're gonna get San Antonio. But that's how it works. And you might get a Dallas who creeps in one of those years, like in the Dallas, San Antonio Laker days in the early 2000s. And that's okay too. But I just think internally they have to improve.
And I'll give you credit. You've been consistent with this because you said it that year the Chiefs won all those close games. You said their fortunes are going to turn.
Can't keep doing it.
That down season, you predicted it.
Yeah.
And then they went ahead and got whooped by Philly in that Super Bowl. So you are very consistent with, champions that dominate and champions that win close are two different tiers to you.
Two different things. It's
You
two
are
different
correct
teams.
about that.
Yeah. It's a two in any sport. If you think about the history, it's two different things. At
Yeah.
some point, it's gonna bite you in the ass, and that's what happened with OKC. They have to do internal improvements, and the mentality has, and the coach is laid back. Everything about them is laid back. But that dude over there in San Antonio, he's gonna up the ante like he did in the All-Star game. You got to come back and be like, yo, you want to stay with the floppers?
Something to Wemby. Then that brother was crying like he just
Yeah.
man,
Chill
he
out with
loved
that.
the game of basketball.
People hate on him. The dude's competitive, and he brings back a level of competitive that the last face of the league didn't have.
Him and Ant, they got it.
That's it. I'm not mad at you crying. I'm happy. Like whatever. He's brought back competitiveness to where
And it ain't
Michael
like
Kobe
he's
took
that
off.
bad celebrating a play-in game.
Oh, this was a great moment. That was a tough series.
Hey, man, you did all that. Got whooped in the playoffs that year. Went to the Lakers. No, LeBron and AD playing with me. I'm not playing with them. Did nothing with the Lakers. Didn't even make the playoffs that year. And now you got kicked off your own podcast. Hey, Pat Bad. Oh, yeah, ESPN looking them ashy ass looks talking about Chris Paul. Hey, guess what? Sometimes you need to shut the hell up.
Yeah, life comes back fast on me.
You know, I just got on the new media. What was the last podcast? Podcast 4? Yeah. Got another one for Yoda Readers. Just got kicked off your own show.
Yeah.
So maybe some of y'all just need to shut the hell up sometimes. Whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's where we at with OKC. It's not the end of the dynasty, or it's not even started yet. I think we jump even with San Antonio. I think we both agree they ain't gonna win back to back. If they win it like this, like you said, they're gonna run it back. They can play that style of basketball, and they might get surprised by a team like a Denver who has two big men who can actually, who knows, and they'll have to take a reevaluation. OKC, they needed a good punch in the mouth. I think it's actually good for that organization to realize, hey, we won those titles. We won that title, but we haven't been the best version of ourselves from regular season to the postseason. What's got to change? And that's it.
All right. Sean, I want to read you a quote from one Mr. Donovan Mitchell, the brother who was married to Coco Jones. We may win a ring here. We may never win a ring here, but I've won in life.
Sounds like LeBron James. Remember that?
Yeah, that's that. I hear that. That's when I know it's over. And you got James Harden on your team.
You ain't built for it. That's what. It's not even more to say. You ain't built for it because the guy again, and that's why I didn't like what Ant once shake the hand. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. The guy who's going to be the next guy, the face of the league. He ain't doing that. And I don't think I'm hearing a quote. I heard him say, I felt that 15. I feel like I felt after that buzzer. I want to feel 15, 20 times. It might become addiction. That's a good thing or a bad thing. But I love that. I love that quote. He wants to win. And so, listen, the small guard narrative, you got to be special. And I mean, you got to have an Isaiah. Even Steph has a killer mentality. I never believed in Donovan Mitchell like that. I got to be honest. I think Donovan Mitchell is the second best player on a championship team. In Cleveland, you got smoked by the Knicks, and you barely won. Got to the conference finals with 2 Game 7 series. That shows me your leadership. Yo, I don't want to hear the Cleveland Cavaliers players or coaches buy a microphone for the rest.
All summer long, just run away from a microphone, run away from a camera.
All of them.
Matter of fact, cut your phone service off for the summer.
All of them. Horrible. Kenny Atkinson, James Harden. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Analytically, we won 2 out of them first 3 games. What?
We're the better team.
I wonder why we have a problem with these spreadsheet idiots and these spreadsheets themselves. James, I think I had a pretty good series. In what world? I ain't gonna waste my breath on James Harden. We ain't nothing more to more to say that hasn't been said.
Exactly.
Just Cleveland. Y'all got rid of a young guard for that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And it's just the leadership part. Like, if I'm Dan Gilbert, I handle it for my 3 leaders, my coach, and my 2 best players, quote unquote. I'm looking at
my league.
And then you wonder why Evan Mobley's soft. and it hasn't taken a step because we're just
I
baby.
actually like what I saw from Mobley against the Knicks. He had some
And
aggression.
when the games were blown already done.
Now I saw him come out in some first quarters with a sense of urgency. Problem is, I saw him disappear or not keep that sense of urgency going. I will say that.
Exactly. So until he does, I don't know what about it. It's just a soft team, soft organization. I'm doing some real soul searching in Cleveland this year. About this offseason, I'm the owner. I'm like, is this what I want my team? Like, I think Phoenix is built more tough than the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes.
They're not more talented than them, but they're built. I'd rather have that team and that organization, that mentality right now than that team in Cleveland. They're more
Oh,
talented.
I'd take a healthy Phoenix to beat a healthy Cleveland in a 7-game series. We got the Suns were not healthy at all this year and did what they did.
They did have a lot of injuries. Brooks and
And when Dylan Brooks is
Book.
guarding Donovan, who else is going to go off for Cleveland?
And the owners hate each other too. So that at least some extra motivation. Actually, I'm not mad about that. If Phoenix was in the East this year with that makeup, they would have been a top 4 seed in the East.
What's different between Phoenix and the Knicks?
Offensively, the
Dylan
Knicks
Brooks just can't guard fours the way OG Anunoby can.
Yeah, and I don't want to disrespect.
Well, they don't have a stretch 5.
They don't have a stretch 5, and this version of Cat is Hall of Fame version to me. If he's playing this level of basketball, no. Let me hold on. 15, 10, 7 assists. I don't like Cat just jacking up threes. I'm talking about because he's gonna let me call it space. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. He's gonna make the Hall of Fame. Everybody makes the Hall of Fame. Paul George might make the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad the NBA is. I don't think they're Hall of Famers because they're not. But if you could tell me he's a higher version of what's the difference between besides the defense, him and he's playing better defense than Draymond Green in this offense. Or Sabonis in this offense.
And let's talk about that. Mike Brown had to put you in that role because you refuse to go to the low block. I got news for everybody who's buying this. It ain't gonna stick.
You think so?
It ain't gonna stick. It ain't gonna stick.
Well, if they want to win,
is he or is he not the second best scorer on that team?
Absolutely.
The Knicks are going to take that next step and actually have a chance to keep going. Karl Anthony Sabonis is not going to be the solution. He's going to have to be Karl Anthony Embiid for it to work. Low block, mid-range, 4 threes a night. That's what you get. You get 1 3 a quarter. Outside of that, your job is to get me 7 a quarter.
I
3, a bucket in the rim, at the rim, and 2 free throws every quarter. That's the only way the Knicks, to me, become they can consistently win the East. And is that ever going to be Karl Towns?
Exactly.
No. Does he have the talent for it? Yes. So,
but some people ain't built like that. He's just not built like that, man.
Soft.
Yeah. So I think, listen, if you get a team, what we hated Mike D'Antoni for is he tried to play his style with whatever team he had. I like Mike Brown finally realizing, hey, he ain't this. This is the best version. I gotta be honest.
I'll give Mike Brown his credit for it.
Yeah, it's the best version I've seen of Cat. If he plays like this, he's a consistent all-star. Will eventually be a Hall of Famer. And if the Knicks win a title, because they have a chance, let's not be dumb. They have a chance in this finals to win the title. He never ever has to go back to being Karl Towns ever. He's goated in New York. That's it. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to see Mikal Bridges and Karl Towns with championships. I don't. Yeah, I don't. Please.
I think they'll burn down that city if they win the title. That city might be in real danger of being burned down.
Buddy, because New York is already like naturally sinking into the ocean. It's going to, they're going to take about 5 centimeters off the shoreline if they win. Oof.
Yeah, it'll be bad.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, Manhattan's process of deterioration is going to speed up. Sean,
Oh
there
yes.
is the salary cap proposal in Major League Baseball, and I think it makes perfect sense. The owners have proposed a cap floor of $171 million, just about, and a cap of about $245 million that can rise every year as long as TV revenue, and well, all revenue goes up, and a 50-50 split in revenue between players and owners. I love it. Apparently, the players don't. And then you got the reporters who, the so-called reporters who sell themselves to the players and the agents for the sake of scoops, getting on a fake stool to scream at the scream at the clouds about this. Um, your whole opinion on the whole situation.
Bryce Harper came out and was like the grown man in a room full of kids. I love his quote. I read it last night. Baseball cannot afford to lose the momentum, especially in this day and age when he was like, "Yo, social media is different, and kids have so much other options. People have so many options. If you go away for a year, you might never recover." I completely agree. And that gave me when he said that quote, because Bryce Harper is one of the faces of Major League Baseball. I was like, oh, there's gonna be a salary cap. That's the moment I thought in my mind. It's like, oh, there's gonna be a salary cap. Not saying there won't be a lockout, but at some point they can't afford to lose a whole year. So, and I'm the owners. I'm willing to lose a whole year because I do think, as a fan of the Yankees, Javon's a fan of the Dodgers. Like, do I think titles, the salary cap determines if you are a champion or not? No, we've seen it not work like that. But do I do think that I don't want to see the Dodgers with 17 out of 25 on their roster all-star guys, and there's a lot of development, but they could go whoever they want. No, spread the talent around. It's a 50-50 split. I'm cool. If the Yankees and the Dodgers and all of them voted and presented this to the table and they're willing to split their local revenue with the whole league, it's gonna make the league better. Again, it doesn't determine championships of salary, but it can't be a disparity, 300 million to this team. It's gonna force those owners, like the Miami Marlins owners, the Pittsburgh Pirates owners,
Yes.
to pay schemes, pay these guys, Schoolboy in Detroit, pay these guys, right? It's gonna make it more competitive. And at some point, were we going to give a baseball player $1 billion? I don't think no offense to baseball players. They ain't soccer players. They ain't NBA players, and they're not NFL quarterbacks. I don't think anybody. I love Otani. I love Soto, but those guys should not make so much more money than LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Wimby. If you want to put the new guy, they're not valuable like that. Messi, Ronaldo, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. It's got to be some level of cap. It's going to help grow the game, help evaluations, and you can't lose this momentum. When
And
Harper
it's going
came
to
out, said
save
that,
these owners from themselves also.
yes, Harper said it. When I saw the quote, I was like, "There's going to be a form of a cap by next season. They're going to lose some games, but they can't not lose a whole season." Because I think if I'm the owners, this ain't 1994. We were pressured by the unions or the labor laws. I'm willing to lose a whole damn season for a cap. It needs to. And like you said, we got to help some owners to stop being cheap and start paying them,
Yes.
paying these players and
Oh,
spending the
that's
money.
also on the league office for, and granted, we know Manfred ain't oversee all of these purses, but even past league offices, like, hey, y'all got to stop letting these owners into the sport.
Yes. That's
Like the
it.
NBA did a very strong process of vetting Mark Ballmer. I mean, not Steve Ballmer, excuse me. Like, you need to be having, if you're going to be a sport with no salary cap, then you need a bunch of Mark Walters and Steve Ballmers.
Absolutely.
And you don't have that.
Exactly.
So no, you need at least a floor. At least. I don't know if you can have a floor without a cap. No, you can't. What am I talking? You can't. If they come away from this with just a floor, I'm happy. I'm just sick of seeing these owners who are there to just make money off of ticket sales and some merchandising and not care at all about putting a winning team out there. That's what I'm sick of. If we can fix that, I'm happy. I think a cap puts everyone at a level playing field, and I'm not mad at it. I don't think there's an absolute need for a cap, though, because hey, you're the ones making all the money and you're reinvesting into your own team. I think that's how life should work.
Mhm.
Like I'm not a fan of the Lakers and Celtics and Sixers having to share their local revenue with the rest of the league. I'm just not. So yeah, I'm fine with owners if someone were pissed about that, in that upper echelon of teams that are going to have to shed some cap space. But